Hi there. So this is it. I'm packing away these pre-filled watercolor sets. And if you're starting out with watercolors too, stick around to know why. Welcome to my channel. Hi, I'm Trisha, a self-taught artist on an exciting journey of creating art using different medium. This video is my wake-up call with watercolors as it challenged my self-taught skills and forced me to revisit color theory. I started painting 5 years back with acrylics on canvas. It was fast to paint with and the vibrant colors and layers were fun to build up. I started oils too, one of the most versatile medium that allowed various techniques, extended periods to blend colors and create smooth transitions. I got more choiceful about my colors with oils and enjoyed the layering process. I feel both these medium allow ample opportunity to get your colors, mixing and harmony right, whether on the palette or even on the canvas through blending and rework. I started watercolors 2 years back, painting florals in loose composition. I love them as a subject. Using watercolor sets of 30, 50 or even 100 colors was so exciting and seemed like a great initiation into this new medium. But I noticed with more complex subjects or composition, I was trying to pick and second guess the color from the set that would be the right value or harmony. And more often than not, I failed. That's when I switched to watercolor tubes with just a few different primaries. As soon as I did that, I found improvement in not just simple subjects but even more elaborate compositions. What changed during this time was my increased appreciation and respect for color theory. Watercolors really humbled me. Over the past few months, having studied the subject more, I developed the simple S-grid model for color mixing and it helped me so much. Over 2 episodes, I will share what I discovered. Swatch along with me if you like. But first, let's brush up some basics. I'm going to stick with the RYB model, but call out important considerations when following this. So the 3 primary colors I'm choosing are yellow, red and blue. When you mix red and yellow, you get a secondary color called orange, and when you further mix the orange with the primary yellow in almost equal proportion, you get a tertiary color, yellow-orange. Mixing primary red and secondary orange gives you a red-orange, which if you notice is more like the stereotypical red shown in classroom books. For example, think of a traffic signal red or the color of a fire engine truck. Next, when you mix red and blue, you get a beautiful secondary color called purple. Just look at that. Red and purple makes a tertiary red-purple. Blue and purple when mixed create tertiary blue-purple, also known in visible light spectrum as violet. Other names can be indigo, ultramarine, navy blue, etc. Primary blue and yellow when mixed creates a secondary green color. Yellow and green combine to form tertiary yellow-green, or in this case it looks like a leaf green. Blue and green when combined, they form tertiary blue-green, which looks close to cyan or turquoise. Remember, all colors in a wheel are relative to one another. If you change one or more of the input primary colors, the nature of the color wheel itself changes due to varied mixing. Useful shorthand. In general, these colors in the wheel are considered cool and these as warm. So how do you consider the primary colors of your choice as cool, mid or warm? This is based on the principle of color bias. I will demonstrate this with the S-grid model and how it impacts primary color choices. I'm going to use 3 types of primaries each for yellow, red and blue, description of which are given down below. One advice I would give is to start knowing your colors through the pigment names. It's a good way to learn about inherent color biases. You need to visually see the bias it carries towards making a secondary green or a secondary orange. And if it appears to be able to make a green easier and hence a bias towards green, then it is basically a cool yellow because green is a cool secondary color. Likewise, whether your primary red is warm, mid or cool depends on the bias towards what it would make easier. a secondary warm orange, or a relatively cooler purple. The red at the top hence is the coolest red, and at the bottom is the warmest red. Blues are considered cool when leaning towards green and warm when leaning towards red. A cobalt blue, for example, can be a mid to cool blue, whereas an ultramarine blue is warmer as it carries a bias towards red. Phthalo blues or cerulean blues are considered some of the coolest blues. Now let's get started on the S-grid model. I've got these primary colors in my half pans and I will use the metal palette for all my color mixing. I give them a quick spray with water to activate the pigment. Keep at least 2 bowls of clean water ready to dip your brush and keep it clean between swatching. A cloth to wipe the pigment and my sustainable bamboo brush rest. I'm going to just go ahead and swatch the pigments of yellow from cool to warm. You can use any brand of watercolor tubes for this exercise. I have also swatched my cool, mid and warm reds. And for blues, I have used 4 various colors, addition being a cerulean blue, which honestly I'm not fond of from the tube due to it being more gluey. I'll create the tail of the S by repeating the reds since I want to see the interaction of various reds and blues too. In my next video, I will complete this S-grid model with some aha moments, so stay tuned and swatch along. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notifications on my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.